It's been a couple of years since I've spoken to Tali with the release of your last album, but she's with me again today to talk about the new single. Also, an upcoming album which is due for release when we're thinking that Wolves might come out.
Hopefully September,
Okay.
around September, October time. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. But it is finished, so there's there's nothing that's really stopping it.
Well, I've heard that you've been just busy writing and producing yourself this time, and it just keeps coming out and coming out. So
Yes.
what's going to happen when it comes to releasing the album? You might have an abundance of tracks.
Well, I've had to put a bit of a stop to my creativity in that sense because I couldn't stop producing. Once I got into it, I was like, oh man, I'm just loving this buzz so much.
Yeah.
Because when I first started making it, I didn't really have an intention or a focus as to what I wanted to do with the music. I was just enjoying the process. And before I knew it, I had an album's worth of material.
So in the past, have you worked with producers and not
Yeah.
done it yourself? Okay.
Yeah.
And so how this time, did you know what you're doing? Did you have to kind of find your way around things?
I kind of did know what I was doing. A few years ago when I lived in the UK, I had a boyfriend who was a hip hop producer, and he showed me how to use Pro Tools first of all so that I could record myself, and then he showed me how to use Reason because I was always hanging over his shoulder,
Yeah.
oh, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? And he was like, oh, look, let me just show you. And he set it all up. So I became quite apt at using Reason, but then my computer died and we broke up. And so there went my copy of Reason.
Yeah, right.
So, and then I just was really back into heavily touring again with my NCing. So
Yeah.
I didn't really get a chance to get back into production until maybe last year. I think it was pretty much the beginning of last year that I first sat back down and was like, right, I want to do things my way. For the
Yeah,
first
cool.
time. Yeah.
So, and calling it Wolves, does that kind of have a theme that runs through the album as such, or what's the story? They're like my favourite animals.
They
so.
are. They're one of mine as well. They're one of mine as well. Well,
Right.
I made a song called Wolves.
Okay, cool.
And this came about from it's one of those stories where you go out with friends, you're only meaning to have one drink, and it leads to a few more, and then next thing you know you're like, Ray, we're on the town. But it was kind of it wasn't so much Ray, we're on a town and going clubbing. It was just that we were moving through to different people's houses, and I actually had a night like that in Christchurch just recently, saying goodbye to my guitarist. We went and played a gig, then we went to a really cool bar where he was jamming with a DJ, then we went to some people's houses and we had food and the conversation was flying, and it's the idea of you're like a pack of wolves, and you're roaming the street and the city feels like it's yours.
Completely.
You know?
Could take you anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So Wolves is kind of that sort of vibe, but also wolves can be quite solitary and quite moody and mysterious, and as much as I have this sort of open, positive side to myself, I also have a very moody, dark, slightly unknown side that people maybe have never really experienced.
Okay, choice. Any overseas trips planned? Any other overseas trips?
Not really. I mean, I've just been to Perth, and I just went to Russia and
Oh,
London.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how have you been managing to get all this album stuff out when you've been all over the place?
This is the thing, I haven't actually been doing that much touring. I've been doing a little bit of emceeing up and down New Zealand, over to Aussie. Went to Russia I went to London for a week, and while I was there I went to Russia.
Right.
But I've been doing the production for about a year and a half now, and so now it's time to take it out of the studio and hopefully get back into touring. I really, my ideal dream would be to get a set together that's so strong that we could possibly go to Europe, because it's been a while since I toured Europe, but I'd love to tour it with this kind of sound, you know?
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to go check out your latest video clip. It's called Forces. Tell me about this song before we go into it, because it's a very kind of sultry, kind of steamy, but not really steamy at the same time, you know?
Yeah. Shame. No.
No, not even.
No, it's a song about love. It's just a song about when you have a connection with somebody, and every time you see them, it's just it's really explosive, and the forces of nature. I feel like it sounds like a cliche. Forces of nature can be really awe-inspiring, beautiful, or they can be really destructive.
Yeah.
And love is like that. Sometimes you can be so into somebody that when you come together with them, it's really explosive, and as amazing it can also be really dangerous.
I'm going to leave you with that note right there from Tali, and let's go check out the latest video clip. It's Forces on NZOWN.